Big news coming from the USL. Earlier today, it was announced that owners from the USL 1 and USL Championship voted to enact promotion and relegation within the USL ecosystem. This comes just a few weeks after USL announced a new Division 1 league to directly compete with the MLS. The tentative plan for all this is to launch USL Division 1 in 2027 or 2028 and to hopefully implement promotion and relegation by 2028. If this all works out and if this comes to fruition, it will be the first time in the history of U.S. professional soccer where there is true promotion and relegation. Now, for those who don't know me, I am a current professional footballer in the USL Championship, and I want to give my thoughts basically from the inside. I think that it's extremely exciting, and I think that especially after launching the USL Division 1, this is the smartest thing that USL can do. I mean, just talking about promotion relegation as a whole, I've experienced it in Germany in the lower leagues. I experienced what it's like to be relegated. I experienced what it's like to be in New Zealand in a pro rel system and fighting for your life that very last game of the season, winning that last game and securing your spot in the top league for the next season. It's the best. Promotion relegation really just adds this completely different dynamic to playing professional soccer. And I think it's really needed, especially when it can get stagnant. And I think teams can kind of skate by who are consistently at the bottom of the table. However, there's always cons. The turnover of clubs in the USL, which is already at an extremely high rate, is only going to go up, I think. I think that the instability of the league is only going to go up. And if this isn't done absolutely perfectly, I could see the USL as a whole facing some serious problems. I have three main concerns about this. The first is that the pro league standards in the US is way too demanding and it needs to change. I talked about this in my last video, but as of now, to operate as a Division 1 club, you need to have teams located in at least the Pacific, Central, and Eastern time zones. 75% of the teams within the league must compete in metropolitan areas over 1 million people, and all the teams must play in a stadium that has the capacity to seat 15,000 people. The main problem that I see with the first 2 points is what happens during the ebbing and flowing of teams going up and down throughout the tables, that all of a sudden you have a year in Division 1 where there's no teams in the Pacific time zone. I mean, technically you would not qualify as a Division 1 league. Now, I know there's waivers and I know there's ways to work around this and exemptions and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the PLS, those points just make it very hard or difficult or goes against implementing promotion relegation. Also, the requirement to have 15,000 seats is on par with the Premier League and La Liga and the Bundesliga. And to me, I know we want to hold ourselves to a high standard, but again, you're really making it difficult if there's promotion relegation for clubs to move up in this league and survive with how much money needs to be pumped in order to satisfy these needs. I can just see more problems coming from that than what it's solving. You have these amazing environments in the USL with these small, intimate settings that are boisterous and fans are all right there. And it's the perfect USL stadiums. Highmark Stadium, Keyworth, Championship Stadium, Widener Field. All these are perfect USL stadiums, and I would hate to see these teams not satisfy that requirement, be forced to lease out a 30,000 person stadium that a big NFL team operates or something, and just kill the environment. That would be the absolute worst case scenario. The second main concern that I have is that there's already way too high of a turnover of clubs within the USL Championship and USL League One. Every single year, clubs are folding and new clubs are popping up. We've been able to sustain ourselves and even grow, but the amount of clubs that have folded within the last 10, 15 years of the USL is a little frightening. And I believe a big reason why these clubs fold so quickly is because we're kind of building from the top down. It's a franchise system. Clubs pop into the very top, and if it doesn't work out, there's not that much incentive to keep the club going around. We don't have 100 years of history like clubs have over in England. A lot of these clubs fold, and really the fans go, oh shoot, I enjoyed going to those games. That was fun. Anyway, what's for dinner? It's kind of a quick turnaround because the club's only been around for a few years. If a club is going to fold, we're not going to have riots in the city center like a lot of places would in England or in Europe, because we just don't have that generational passion for that club. If we get to a place where clubs are no longer being promoted because of the financial strain that it would cause to meet the PLS, or clubs that are getting relegated are just folding, and there's more clubs folding, or we're losing more clubs than we're gaining, then that's where the system can really get into a lot of trouble. And finally, my third concern is that the MLS is going to be very, very difficult to compete with. The USL Division 1 and the MLS will not both occupy the top division of American professional soccer for more than a few years. One of them is going to have to give. I just don't see a world where we have two first divisions for a decade. And as much as I hate to say it as a USL player, but the MLS is in a much, much more favorable position because they've had decades of growth, decades to get their system ironed out. They have a ton of stability right now. They're stronger than ever. More money's pumped in than ever. It's going to be David versus Goliath. I want David to win. I would love to see the USL succeed, promotion relegation be successful, and then because of this, overtake the MLS. And now we have a new pyramid with promotion relegation top to bottom, and that's what wins in the end. That would be ideal for me. But it's gonna be hard. It's going to be really hard. So now we just have to sit back and wait to see if promotion relegation is the special thing that's going to give USL the competitive advantage, if it's going to be enough to put pressure on the MLS. I hope so. I hope it is. I hope it's enough to bring more attention and more fans over to the USL, but we will see.